I've been having a really tough couple of weeks. So, welcome to this week's Friday challenge. What do we do when life gets really hard? This is what I do. I watch hours and hours of TV to distract me from the struggle. I hunker down into myself, shutting out the world. My protective walls surround me on every side. My system gets flooded. I become overwhelmed. Survival mode sets in and takes over my entire being. I shut down. There are healthier ways to cope and work through my stress, anxiety, and struggle. I know this up here in my brain. Do you ever experience knowing something in your head, but the rest of your body and your heart are left confused and paralyzed? What's the first thing you do when you're really struggling? Shutting others out isn't the answer. And you know what? That's usually the first thing I do when I'm really struggling. It really just ends up hurting me more. Here's my proposition. How about instead of doing that thing we usually do first that's really not helpful, we do something different? It's like the phrase, nothing changes if nothing changes. Here at Pure Game, we have an acronym you may have heard before, STAR, STAR. Once we realize we are going down through that spiral into the dark, uncertain abyss, let's stop and acknowledge it. Once we've stopped, we have the chance to think about what's happening, how I got to where I'm at now, and where that path leads. That allows us to make a different or even better decision, now being able to act from a new perspective. And ultimately, then we can reflect on what happened and how a different decision had a different outcome. Thank you for joining me in vulnerability today. Vulnerability can be really hard. It can feel scary and uncertain. I hope that now you feel hopeful and encouraged. As we part ways for today, I will leave you with this. I challenge myself to practice all of what we just talked about, and ultimately to practice inviting safe people in when I'm struggling instead of pushing them away. And now I challenge you to challenge that inner voice that wants you to make unhelpful choices when you are struggling. Remember, you are loved and cared for. You matter. And with that, I will see you right back here next Friday.